I thought I clicked it. Okay, now we are great. I
There
was
we
just
go.
talking. Yes, good evening, everyone. Welcome back. We are happy to be back once again. We are the Poly Pimps. My name is Me Too, and with us we have our wonderful other Poly Pimp, Sky, and then we have our guest, Teddy. But I'm gonna let them speak for themselves. I'm just so excited to be back tonight. So I'm like, hugging the mic. We have missed you. And we are back. And
Yay!
yes, to continue, not a new season, but to continue season 3 of the Poly Pimps. Yes, we are at season 3. We started this and we just kept going. It's a lot of work, but we love it. So
Wow.
much fun.
That's
Yeah.
dope. Yeah.
Where has the time gone?
Right.
Where has the time gone? So,
You go ahead, Sky.
so what have you been up to?
Well,
Me?
yes.
Well,
You haven't
I'm
said
happy to
your
be here.
hello.
I'm happy to be here. Say it again.
No, I said you haven't said hello to
Well,
your
I'm happy to
audience.
be here. Oh, yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm excited. Talking about relationships and jealousy and all of the things we're going to talk about tonight is always something I'm ready for. Um, I just saw one of Teddy's videos in the group, I think today,
Wow.
and I'm just like, I don't know how I missed his stuff, but that means that I'm not sucked into the internet as much as I thought I was.
And that's not a bad thing. That's okay.
But yeah, right, right. A little balance. So, yeah, I hope everyone that I invited tunes in and gets some of this good stuff poured all over them. And oh yeah, shameless plug, my book,
Yes. Oh, and
Recipes
I
for
got
the
my copy.
Sweetest.
Yes. Yes.
Yay! So
Yes.
yeah, I'm out here in Atlanta trying to get my book in various stores so far, and people are ordering them online. So yeah, that's where I am. So I'm here for it.
Yay. Yes. Let's all get the recipes for sweet pussy, for the sweetest pussy. Okay, Teddy. We want to hear what you got to say about that.
Right. Yeah. 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 I like that. I
So
like
tell
that a
us a
lot.
little bit about yourself, Teddy, and how did you come about in our show?
Sure. Yeah. Teddy Holmes. I've been in the poly community for the past 3 years. I'm from Louisiana, the whole thing. And I've known about poly pimps for the past few months, just seeing you post about it in some of the groups that we are all a part of. Shout out to our home bases. Um, and yeah, lo and behold, you invited me last week. So I'm excited to get into this conversation because I think it's a much needed dialogue about how men navigate some of the nuances of polyamory and some of the emotions that we all experience.
Exactly. That is so awesome. So thank you
That's
again. I feel like I kind of reached out last minute. But I just wanted to say I needed to take a break. Um, I mean, not because I was tired, but because I was tired, not of you guys. Just life was life in. I'm working on some stuff that took up a lot of my time. So I had to, we tell people all the time to balance their lives and take time, and I wasn't doing that. I was going crazy. I thought all my friends were gonna break up with me, or my partners were gonna break up with me. I kind of felt flaky. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry. I ain't got time to talk to nobody." Like I couldn't even have a 5 minute conversation with anybody because 5 minutes could be 5 minute I could spend on a lesson, and it's like, I'm sorry, I can't. So I am so happy to be on break and back in the show, back with my people who were there to support me. And I love my poly community because they've been a rock to me. So, yes. Um,
Welcome back.
thank you. Thank you. It's good. It's good to be back. So, all right. So, are we gonna dive in? Oh no. So, you said you are from Louisiana, and you've been polyamorous for the last 3 years?
Right. So I feel like polyamory is an orientation more than just a love style. So I
Okay.
tend to say that I've been polyamorous my whole life, but I've been in the community for 3 years. It took place in 2022, February.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Wow, he has a date. He has a
I
date
know.
of a date of really.
What happened
How
in
is that? How is
February that
that?
made you remember that date specifically?
I was gonna say, like, it's easy for me
Yeah.
to remember because I established my first partnership within polyamory in March of
Okay.
2022. So I
Okay.
jumped into groups. And you know what's funny? Like when I jumped into the groups, I did what I feel like what most people who only know monogamy and who are in a marriage do. And you feel like you have to do everything together. So I was absolutely 1000% one of those unicorn hunting ass people who was like, "Oh, we looking for
Oh,
a third."
We want
We
to
look,
find out forever third.
absolutely, well, absolutely, we looking for a
well, I'm
third.
glad you. It sounds like you're recovered.
Oh yeah, it didn't take long. It didn't take long for me to realize, or at least come up with the question to my wife, as you know, if you found somebody that you're attracted to, why does it make sense for me to also have to be attracted to that person? Why does it make sense for them to have to be attracted to me? Right?
Right.
We might as well start exploring this stuff individually. And so immediately we started doing that, and I established a partnership about a month after. So
Thank
that's
God.
why it's easy for me to remember. Yeah.
Isn't it so freeing
Yeah,
that you don't
it's not as
have
easy. It's not as
every
easy as you say
Yeah.
because folks out here are trying to be poly, are trying to be poly, and I agree with you in the terminology. I think it's more of an orientation, at least for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like for those who it's not an orientation for, those are the ones that really struggle with jumping in and out of it.
Sure.
Because like I had to tell someone recently, they were like, well, my partner doesn't have a partner, so are they poly? And I'm like, poly is the way you think about relationships. It's not because you have multiple partners. I mean, if you
Correct.
have no partners, you're still poly. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Right.
about you if okay, so if you have if you're seeing multiple people, so now you're poly. I mean, you could just be non-monogamous and you
Sure.
could be ethical or not about it, but being poly is really a state of viewing how your perspective of viewing love and relationships. At least that's how I would break it down.
No, I
So
completely agree. I
um
completely agree. To me, it's very akin to, and while polyamory is not on the LGBTQIA spectrum, right, it would be very
plus.
akin to that in that it's almost like asking a gay person, well,
mhm.
are you really gay if you don't have a boyfriend? Are you really
Right.
gay if you don't have, well,
That's
like that,
exactly that is the exact analogy that I gave to my friend. And I said, so if I happen to be gay and I'm not seeing anyone, am I not gay anymore? Am I just not gay? Am I back to being straight because I have nobody in my life? And they're like, oh wow, that's deep. I didn't think of it that way. So yeah, exactly what you just said. So
Well, yeah. Hello, Marie. Thank you. I know you've been waiting for us. Thank you for always supporting us, and thank you for sharing the post as well. Please continue to support us by sharing. It's a free click. It costs you nothing to support the Poly Pimps. Hey, Brian.
be fine,
Welcome.
Phil. What up, man?
Welcome. All right. So, my question to you guys and the audience, I would like for everybody to type in their answers, or you can come on screen. You can come with no camera if you want, just a voice.
yeah.
Share with us. So, when was the first time you felt jealousy in love?
Ooh.
And was it about them or was it about you?
Mm, this is good. I don't know who wants to go
Well,
first. Oh, there we go. All right.
I'm gonna put the link in the comments for those
Oh,
who
yeah.
want to join in. Whether you
Thank
want to join in by audio, like just like I guess you could say it's kind of like a call in, so you don't have to have your camera on,
right.
or if you want to come on screen, whichever you prefer.
Hey,
It's
Luna
up to you. So
Rose.
for folks who just want
Hey.
to, if you If you
Sorry.
just want to pop in,
No,
then pop in. That's fine.
Yes, we love having people on. So please do come on. We love having a conversation. Hey, Maritza. Hey, it's been a while, girl. Thank you for coming in. We have a lot of
So I will say,
listeners.
I'll start off with my thoughts on the whole jealousy thing. I think that there is, and this is what I've heard, especially as it relates to, and this is probably poly or monogamy, but I think that jealousy is a feeling, right? It's an emotion, right? And I think people think that jealousy is the action that happens once someone is jealous. Do you get what I'm saying? Like a reaction to being jealous and being jealous is two different things. So if I get jealous about something or anything or person, place, thing, whatever it is, I don't necessarily, I will not react the way people who react about jealousy. Do you get what I'm saying? Like a lot of times people can see people act jealous and they say, oh, that's jealousy. No, that's the action that happens because they're jealous. Am I being clear about what I think jealousy is and isn't?
Yeah. I think you're being clear, and I actually tend to agree. Jealousy is a feeling just like most negative feelings. And it does not, for one, define you, right? It doesn't define you. And it does not also signal facts, right? It's a feeling. And it's important that we understand that feelings are not always representative of what is factual. It's just how you feel. And sometimes just in the way that our thoughts are not us. And oftentimes we experience our thoughts and we have to just deal with them, sit with them, and let them pass. Jealousy is the exact same way. Sometimes we just have to sit with it, deal with it until it passes.
Right.
It's the sitting with it that sucks.
Yes. Well, you guys still haven't answered the question. When was the first time that you feel like you remember feeling jealousy? And how did that make you feel?
So I can't remember the first time, but I can remember a very distinct time in my younger days, when I had a boyfriend this is back home in the Virgin Islands. And we went out to this club back in St. Croix, and there was like video games on the side. So we were playing video games, or were we? No, we were standing up talking with some other people, right? And this friend of mine, Guy, says, "Hey, Sky, how you doing? Hey, come over here and play this game with me," right? So I was like, "Okay, cool." So I walk over with my friend, my other guy friend, and is playing like Miss Pac-Man or something on and my boyfriend ran over like after some minutes and was like, "What are you doing? It's time to go. We're out of here." And I was like, "Okay.
You're gonna get stolen."
Very out of character. Yeah, like, okay. I was really calm about it because the energy behind his whole shit was so weird and just, it was like, I was like, wow, you're doing a whole lot right now. And usually when someone is doing a whole lot, I'm not doing anything. You get what I'm saying? So when someone's acting up, I'm the anti whatever they're doing. So
I don't know. I have a hard time believing that, because
he was like he was just like, huh?
I said, "You're such a hothead."
I didn't hear you.
I'm believing that.
She said you're a hothead, Sky.
Oh no. If someone's going off, I am. But if someone is going off and I'm not like here for it, I'm not gonna eat into it. Like, I'm just gonna be over here. So that was one of the most like prominent thoughts of a jealous outburst that I've experienced, and that was very young, like a long time ago. And I was like, yeah, that's never going to be a thing to me, because we always were good communicators. So if you're feeling some sort of way, then communicate. And that was literally the moment that I realized that poly is really the way I think, because I felt no problem with, we're all hanging out in this club and we're not really talking, we're not doing anything. And another friend says, hey, come over here. He felt that that was super mad disrespectful. And I was like, what did I do? I went and played a video game. So that whole male Teddy's face. Teddy's like, what? I don't even know what you're thinking, but I felt it. I just was like, I'm not from this planet because y'all are crazy. That's all I got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So quickly before you go, Teddy, we want to say hi to all the people who just came up. Hey, Maggie, good to see
Maggie
you.
Bonnet.
Yes, she's always here. Hey, Maya.
My lady Kate. Hey.
Ah, is that your lady?
That's my lady Kate. Yeah, Luna Rose and Maya are my partners.
Okay. Yes, I knew about Luna Rose. Okay. Hey, Maya. Hey, Stephanie. Oh my God, I got to meet
My
Stephanie.
daughter's name is Maya.
A couple weeks ago, and it was so wonderful. Okay, Brian, we see you. Okay, Brian said something. Used to be anytime a man was around or even brought up, and it was me. Still get jealous from time to time. Okay, we're gonna get to the comments. We just wanted to say hi to the people who just came up. Hey, Raheem. Hey. And felt it as an adult, as an unregulated kid. Yes. Okay. Stephanie said, I don't remember the first time. Now, when I feel jealous, I get to the root, mostly fear, and process that rather than allowing my mind and heart to race. And Luna said, I can definitely relate to having to learn the rules of monogamous engagement. Okay, so Teddy, your turn.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple of things came to mind when you first asked this question. I was like, because we all have little what I refer to as blips, where we have that little feeling of like, that doesn't make me feel too good, but it's fleeting, right? Like you think about it for 5 minutes and you're over it, right? Yeah. But when it first sets in, you're like, what the? Yeah, I don't know what I can say on your podcast. Don't try to watch my.
Oh, you can.
I can say whatever. Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like what is happening? I don't like this feeling, and you get pissed off about it for 5 minutes. You go and you use the restroom, and you come back, you've forgotten all about it. So I had to shuffle through some of those instances, but I would say like the first time that I really felt jealous. Can we give like a definition of jealous? Because I want to make sure we level set here.
Yes, you want to do that, Sky?
Yeah, let me get my I had my notes right here.
Just a short one.
Here it is. Okay. Jealousy involves fear of losing something you already have to someone else. It's typically a 3-person dynamic, you, another person, and a third party who threatens your relationship or position. Envy is wanting something that someone else has. It's usually a 2-person dynamic, you and the person who possesses what you desire. Envy involves feelings of inadequacy, resentment, and longing.
All right. We're going to get to envy later, but thank you, Sky. Yeah, so go ahead, Teddy.
Really appreciate it. I wanted to get that out of the way because there's so many different definitions of jealousy. Right. And sometimes people say, oh, it's not jealousy, it's insecurity. Oh, it's not jealousy, it's anxiety. Thank you for the definition of jealousy. I can say that, yes, I've experienced jealousy. And the first time it happened, it was when one of my partners was defensive of somebody that they were dating. Yeah, they were defensive of this person. And I remember getting pissed off about it because I was like, man, fuck that dude. I don't like, why do you care so much about what somebody else is saying about this guy? Because what monogamy teaches us and what the conditioning that comes with monogamy is that certain emotions from a person that you feel a way about is reserved for you, right? So yeah, you can defend me, right? Because we love one another, but you shouldn't be defensive of this person because this person doesn't matter. Right. And I had to unlearn that.
So you thought you were more important than that person?
1000%. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people are not willing to admit that.
That
So I commend you for that.
and that is when folks who are really not dedicated to a poly lifestyle, that's when they jump off
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
the
absolutely.
bed.
Absolutely.
That's when they jump out that, oh, no, I'm not in this bullshit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
think but you know, a lot of people don't even understand jealousy if we're thinking about it. I'm gonna bring up something real quick. One time one of my friends was like, I'm too jealous to be poly. And I was like, okay, well, what does jealousy feel like to you? She's like, I don't know. I'm just jealous. And I said, okay, like, are you jealous because you feel like you're gonna lose them if somebody looks at them, talks to them? Like, she's like, I don't know. I've never had to think about that.
Right.
So she's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
now I'm gonna have to start thinking about what I feel because they don't even know what they feel. They just know they're ready to fight somebody who even looks at their partner with lust or
Mm.
something.
Right. Yeah. 1000%.
Yeah. Um, for me, I don't consider myself because we're not all born jealous, even
Sure.
though we will have moments of jealousy. And I think honestly, we are taught jealousy, right?
That.
I don't think we are born jealous. We are taught jealousy, and I'm gonna get to that. Um, because the culture, usually I grew up in Haiti, I'm Caribbean.
Mm.
Golly, mm, Haitian men, yeah. Yeah, but I learned that side note, Hispanic men, Mexican. I went to Mexico and I was talking to somebody who lives there. They're like, "Oh yeah, they will kill you. You cannot leave them." And
Mhm.
because they're saying
Yes.
violence in women is really high down there because you can't leave a Mexican man. He has to leave you. So if you
Mm.
want him to leave you, do all the things that you don't want him to do, but you can never leave him because he will kill you. But that was a side note. I mean, I it's somebody who lives there who was telling me about the culture. But culture teaches us that if somebody's not
Okay,
jealous for
mental note. Please put that on the mental note.
you, okay,
Don't date Mexican men. Got it.
don't do it. Don't do it. I would not saying that. You can date whoever you want. Don't do But yes, because even growing up in Haiti, they tell you if the person is not jealous for you, then they don't really love you. They don't care
Sure.
about you. If they're not jealous, they're never jealous. So society teaches us that the more jealous the person is, the more they love you. And that's how a lot of
Mm.
people, especially women, end up in very abusive relationships. It always goes back to the abuse because I grew up watching mainly, I'm not saying men don't get abused, but a lot of women getting beat up by their boyfriends, their husbands, because somebody
Mm.
even looked at them. They didn't do anything. The person looked at them, now it's their fault, so they're getting a beat up because this man is jealous, and it's because he loves her so much. He doesn't want anybody to come near her or even look at her. And I mean, we sing those songs every day. All those
Sure.
love songs, they tell us, I don't even want anybody to look at you because
Mm.
you're mine, because we attribute love to possession. So once I love you, you are mine and mine only, and nobody should have access to you. Nobody should even think about you and all that. So to answer the question, i I honestly never really experienced jealousy in my young age. I never felt jealousy until I was about 42.
Mm.
And when it hit me too,
Wow.
I struggled for 2 months probably. Yes.
Sheesh. 60 days of struggling after being jealous for the first time.
Yes. And I didn't even know I had it in me, right? I was out because I always tell people now I actually rejoice when I know other people like my partners. And I've always been like that. Even when I didn't know the term polyamory, I would always like it when other girls would like my boyfriend. I even encouraged a boyfriend, a past boyfriend, because I know a girl liked him. I was like, "Yeah, you go ahead, do that," and he thought it was a trap, so he didn't even listen to me. Because he's like, nobody really says that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So when jealousy hit me at 42 years old, I I was going crazy, and I was talking to my therapist every week about it. I was in my therapy sessions religiously, and I'm talking to friends. I did talk to my partner about it, and he tried to support me, but it was there. I when I tell you I struggled, I've
But wait,
never
me
felt
too.
like that.
What was this jealousy centric to? What was it
So it
around?
was a lack of, right? So it was a situation where I really wasn't that accessible at the time for the person, just because of locations and stuff like that.
Mm,
So in return, they ended up spending a lot more time with another partner. And so I felt a little bit neglected,
got
even
it.
though it wasn't intentional, right? But I felt it and it hit me so hard. So we talked about it and he tried to support as much as possible, but I had to sit in it. I couldn't make him feel bad about it because he didn't do anything wrong. I was just I wanted what was going on too, but he couldn't give it
Mm,
to me because of, locations and stuff like that. So yeah, I struggled, and that was the first, and I would say probably the only time so far that I felt jealousy. It's like it came with a vengeance. It's like all those years you were claiming you're not jealous. Here you go, my dear, on your plate, in your face, blah blah. But yeah, let's say hi because Scott, you and your comments. We have a couple of people who commented since we've been talking. Oh my God! So I am having hot flashes. The joy of getting older.
So
The women.
oh, is that what's going on? You don't have to show the comments. They're being shown on the screen right below Teddy now. I don't know if
Right,
you
I
noticed
see it,
that.
but
oh,
it's so little.
Unless you just want to.
It's so little. At least from what I can see.
yeah, for me too. It's pretty small.
It's little
Yeah.
Just getting it
for
from Amanda
us,
right
but most people are watching YouTube on their TV.
Well, I mean, it's nice to kind of bring it up. I think that it's learned. That's Maritza. I think
now.
that it's learned no matter the culture. I know my men and many different cultures that are extremely jealous and don't give a damn. Hey, Rudy, good to have you back. How are you, my friend? We've missed you. Melly Melo in the house. Shout out to the show Melly Melo. It's a Haitian show that goes on Monday night at 6 p.m. and they talk everything community.
Mm,
Yes. So, yes. Sorry.
Tell them to
So,
post the link in the comments.
yes. Yeah, Rudy,
Rudy,
if you
feel free to post the link in the comments so we can check out your show.
no. Maggie said, I feel that jealousy is a natural human emotion. What we choose to express the emotion towards is the learned behavior based on
absolutely.
nurture, culture, beliefs, etc. So I think that's what's going to bring us to the next section of the jealousy thing. How do you process jealousy? It's jealousy is not bad in itself. It's what you do with those feelings that matter. So Teddy, I would like for you to take the lead on
Yeah.
this one, mainly because men,
How you deal with
even though I feel like they're the number one people to get jealous and get very
Mm,
violent with jealousy, they don't usually like to admit that they are jealous.
sure. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit.
Sure. Well, first of all, I really appreciate what Maggie just mentioned because I completely agree. I don't think that jealousy is a completely learned thing. I think we learn how to respond to jealousy. And oftentimes, most often, in my opinion, we learn how to respond to it in a negative way. I feel like jealousy comes from our innate need to protect something that's really
Mhm.
important to us, right? And as men, right, speaking from the male perspective, that's the reason y'all have me here, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
We are naturally protective, right? And as being a protective sort of person, we don't like to feel weak. So because we don't like to feel weak, yeah, it becomes really difficult to say, you know what, this is making me feel really weak right now. It's making me feel really insecure. It's making me feel small. Because how am I supposed to be your strength? How am I supposed to be your protector? How are you supposed to look up to me as your man, right? So speaking from male ego, right? If I'm walking around this small. So of course I can't admit to you that I feel jealous. Let me bury it deep inside and only give you the negative reaction to what I'm feeling on the inside. So to answer your question, I apologize. Uh,
Oh,
to,
we like to for people to elaborate.
yeah, to answer your question, I think it is two things. For one, self-soothing, right? That's the first thing. When
Yeah.
people talk about like doing the self-work, when people talk about, all that stuff, I go to self-soothing. So what do I do to self-soothe? It's repeating certain things to myself that I know. Repeating certain things to myself that my jealousy is trying to dissuade me of, such as, oh, this person is going to take your partner. Oh, your partner's having such a good time with this man, probably not even thinking about you, right? She gonna come back thinking about,
Better.
yeah, he probably smelled better. His beard probably looked nicer. You know what I'm saying? Like all of this stuff, your mind, especially for someone like me who experiences anxiety, I am an anxious person, right? My mind creates all these vivid imaginations as like, oh my God, my partner is out doing the most luxurious, bombastic, incredible stuff with this person, and I'm over here feeling an inch tall. You know what I mean? And so once again, self-soothing for me looks like reminding myself that the anxiety is a lie, right? They're having a regular time, right? And then
Mhm.
also reminding myself that the relationship, whatever that relationship is, and my partner is experiencing outside of me, it is not just a different relationship, it's a different world, right? Like I have to look at it like it's a whole different world, a whole different universe that is completely detached and unconnected to me. Because if I'm in that world and I'm connected, then I start to feel secondary. I start to feel like I don't matter as much as long as this person is around. And I don't know about other guys, but me personally, I don't take lightly to that at all. I need to feel irreplaceable. I need to feel important. And if somebody else is threatening my level of importance, then I go into protection mode, which oftentimes looks like anger and violence, right? So
Mhm.
that's the first thing, self-soothing, right? Reminding myself and almost creating mantras around things that I know to be true. Secondly, getting support from the people who are in my life, right? And I don't just mean friends. I mean the people, the person who I'm in relationship with, going to your partner and just saying, hey, listen, this is not easy for me to admit, but this really fucks me up. And let me tell you why, right? Let me tell you the thoughts that come to mind. Let me tell you the feelings that it's giving me. Let me tell you how it's making me feel abandoned, right? All of those things are conversations that need to be had because they represent emotions that need to be addressed. And if they
Mhm.
go unaddressed, once again, you are going to have to deal with the negative repercussions that come with that, right? Just like any wound that goes unattended, any wound that goes uncared for, what happens? It festers and it infects,
Yep.
right? And so now you got a worse problem. Now it's even more painful. Now it's ugly and bruised and pus is filling up with it. The same thing happens that happens in the physical, happens in the emotional or the spiritual as well.
Mhm. I agree with that. I agree. Thank you. Guy, do you have something to add?
That's dope. So I
So,
think that one thing I really do appreciate about being polyamorous is the fact that I think even in a monogamous setting, I have mastered myself. And I think that one thing that I see a lot of people now that I've had some experience living this way and relating and stuff like that, I see that people will fall in love and they'll be attracted to people, but they really don't know how to be in a relationship. Just because I like you doesn't mean you know how to actually be in a relationship. And I think that that's why I find that people who actually do the work, and what we call do the work, is study relationships and see what is successful in relationships, whether it's monogamous or polyamorous. It doesn't matter to me. But I find that learning about different attachment styles is something that became notable to me when I started meeting people and realizing that that secure attachment came from a place of being able to communicate, like what Teddy was saying. I don't think most men that I've come across are able to express what you're saying, Teddy. They're not able to say,
Sure.
oh, I'm feeling some sort of way about that situation. That's not, to me, even normal, you know?
Yeah.
So to be more evolved in that area is, it's going to have, you're going to have a better outcome in relationships for sure. But I don't think regular average guys are saying, oh, you're making me feel some sort of way.
Sure.
I'm
So the
feeling
evolution,
insecure. I'm feeling like, that's not stuff guys talk about. They don't say that.
yeah, the evolution is twofold, in my opinion. For one, you have to have the words to be able to express them, right? And most times men aren't, we aren't raised that way, right? The male figures in a lot of our lives aren't emotionally intelligent or available enough to even show us what it looks like to feel weak and how to process that and what those words are, right? So, for one, you have to have the words. Two, you have to be evolved in your emotional availability to just be able to say the words. Because again, I'm somebody who I know the words, right? I could say the words, but I don't always want to say the words because then I have to address the fact that I feel small. I have to address the fact that I feel weak. I have to address the fact that I'm not always this super confident, don't give a shit about nothing type of guy, right? It goes against my toughness and my facade of masculinity, right? And so the evolution is twofold in that regard. Both are difficult to sort of come to terms with, honestly.
I can totally understand where you're coming from because before polyamory, before I had certain tools, I used to make my partners feel bad when they expressed jealousy.
Mm,
Now, it's not necessarily because I wanted them to feel bad. It's just my response to it was always kind of like I was always offended every time they were jealous because to me it was an attack on my character, right? Because I always tell them, you don't have to trust this person that's trying to talk to me. You only need to trust me. So the second that you express jealousy to me, you didn't trust me and I felt insulted. Now,
mm,
yeah, that's always how I always looked at it when I was younger. So I would always be so annoyed when they were jealous. And again, you have to remember, I couldn't even relate to them because I never felt those feelings. I never
right.
had them. So it was hard for me to understand, to be empathetic, to understand where they were coming from because I didn't experience what they were experiencing. And
Right.
on top of that, I used to be so mad every time they would express that they were jealous. But also, a lot of times, too, it's because I was also blamed in that jealousy, whatever was happening, because a lot of times they always pointed it out to me like, oh, it's your fault. It's because you're too nice, or you leave yourself too open, or it's because of what you're wearing, the way you look, or the way you flirt with them. That's why
Right.
they're coming at you. So I feel jealous and blah blah blah. So, and that's why I always hated it when my partners felt jealous, because I always felt like you attacking me because you're telling me that I am not loyal, that I'm gonna be responsible for a cheat that's never gonna happen. Because when I was with somebody, I was with you like 100%. You don't even have to worry. But in Haiti, the way we relate to people, we flirt. We just say, "Hey, baby, how you doing today?" And here in America, I feel like a lot of places, if you even say that to somebody who has a boyfriend or who's married, they're ready to fight you. Like, why are you
Right.
calling him baby? How are you calling him? So, but it's a normal thing for us in our
Right.
culture. That's how we greet people. That's how we go and hug people and touch them. We're very touchy feely people. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of stuff I kind of had to unlearn when I came to the United States. Um, so yeah, so basically, sometimes I was being blamed because I was too friendly, apparently, and that's why
Sure.
the men were trying to holler at me. And so, yes, I was always offended, and I never really gave my partners the support that they may have needed. But again, I didn't have those tools either to give them.
How did it change for you once you did experience jealousy at what you mentioned was 42?
Um, so it's not even when I started understanding how they were feeling, because of course I as soon as I started my polyamorous journey, I dove into reading about jealousy and all of that too, to be able to support those who are going to be jealous because of that. And I had partners who felt jealousy and I was able to support them. But when I finally experienced it, it made me even more sensitive towards them, more empathetic, just truly understand how they felt. Because I mean,
Sure.
I imagined how they felt, but I never felt how they felt. So
Yeah.
fe- having felt that, it's like, oh my God, because it's like something on top of you that's pushing you down, and you can't breathe, you can't think, you can't function. It's really hard. So I always try to support my partners
Right.
whenever they're experiencing jealousy. I try to be there for them as much as possible, but at the end of the day too, I'm still gonna do me, because
Sure.
I had a partner who was jealous because of some content online that he saw. And but I had talked to him prior to doing it, and he didn't know how he was going to feel either. He was very supportive when I was going to do it, and then when the final product came out, he felt some kind of way, and he had a hard time with it, and I had to be there for him. But I also told him, I'm like, if I had to do it all over again, even knowing that you're jealous right now, I would still do it the same way. um,
Mhm.
Maybe give you a little bit more support up front, so you can learn how to deal with it, but I would still do what I did because that's something I wanted to do for myself. So I can
Yeah.
always give more support when needed, but I don't want to change my whole life. There are some adjustment every now and then that you may be able to make for your partner if it's possible, but if it's going
Yeah.
to involve me or involve shifting how I relate to other people, I don't know if that's going to be a thing.
Sure. So I think it is a
Yeah, I
beautiful
mean,
thing. Oh, I'm sorry, Scott. I
no, go ahead.
was gonna say I think it's a beautiful thing that like perspectives tend to change when we can
You
relate,
can go ahead.
right? Like when we can relate to something when we've been through it ourselves, right? It changes how we can then support the people who are in our lives. I don't mind saying so for the majority of the time that I've been in the polyamorous community, I've had three partnerships. Two of my partners have been more what's the word, more emotionally sensitive, I'll say, right,
Okay.
as it relates to new connections. And for the longest time I could not relate. For the longest time I much like yourself, I would almost penalize them for feeling these ways, and I would say stuff like, oh well, you're not naturally poly, you're not poly like like I'm poly, you're naturally monogamous and all this stuff, until I really had to sit with my own jealousy when some stuff really hit me in the chest. And it wasn't until that point where I understood when you get these overwhelming feelings of jealousy and insecurity and feeling like you're losing something that you hold so special, right? It defies logic. It's nothing logical about it, right? You know your person is not leaving you. You could spend 5 nights of the week with this person. They have one overnight with a new person, and guess what? You thinking that they leaving you, right? That's not 2 + 2 = 4, right? But you still have to deal with it. You still have to navigate it in a way where you're not crashing out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so because I've been through it now, because I've become intimately familiar with navigating those feelings and those emotions, I now know what my partners need when they experience the same thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sky, you want to add something?
I think that what is really, yeah, I feel like it's really unappealing when people, I think I've heard people say, well, I don't get jealous. And I don't think that's real. I think people feel jealousy at whatever time it happens. But to say I don't feel jealousy, I don't even think that's a real thing. I think how they deal with stuff is really the actual what's going on in their life. It's like, if I feel this way, I don't need to react all the time. I could feel a jealous feeling and just sit with it inside of myself and just be like, okay, I realize, Sky, that this is just, how I'm feeling right now, and I'm just going to deal with it later. Like, I don't have to react. I don't even have to make comments. I've gotten jealous questions that have totally turned me off. And it comes from a place of insecurity. I feel like it's coming from, well, where are you going? What are you doing? What are you up to? Like, who are you going to be with? All that kind of, that, when you start going down that road, I feel like that's coming from a jealous place. That's coming from an insecure place. Can you still hear me?
Mm-hmm. There's a delay, but we hear you.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, so that's basically, some things that I'm thinking about when it comes to the whole jealous thing. I think people actually do feel jealousy whenever they feel it, but I think it's how they respond to it is more problematic. And for
True.
me, it's almost like a turnoff, especially if they get very aggressive with it.
Yeah. I mean, aggression is never a plus. So we're gonna go back to the comments because we have some new ones. Maya said bombastic is wild.
It's the truth.
um, I just want y'all to know Teddy is not on here fronting either. He really is about that. All right, Luna, talk about your man.
Thank you, man.
um, Maggie said, "Oh, great self-awareness. Me too. I appreciate the vulnerability. That's one thing I had to learn also, to be vulnerable, because I was always this strong person. Like, I was almost like a man. Now, mind you, I did grow up with the boys. I never really had girlfriends like that when I was growing up. It was always the boys. So I didn't really know how to show emotions, or maybe I just didn't want to show emotions until honestly later on in life, like late 30s, 40s. I'm just coming into my womanhood when it comes
Mhm.
to being vulnerable and saying, yes, I need help. Please help me. Please, I need love. I need attention, all of that. So it took me a while because I always felt like I had to be always strong and
Right.
just do the things and be that person. So thank you, Maggie. It wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy journey. Um, Luna said, I feel offended by jealousy too. You're the only other person I've heard say this. Although for me, it's about people feeling jealous of things that I'm involved in. I've had to do a lot of work around the fact that someone can love me and be jealous of me at the same time. Oh, yeah, we see it all the time. It happens all
Mhm.
the time. People can be jealous of you. Dashikizo said, Mitu said, I'll do it again. Yeah, I mean, because if you were to give in to your partner's jealous feelings all the time, you would not date
Mhm.
anybody else. There's a lot of stuff. That's why in monogamy,
And then you
right?
and then you end up walking the eggshells.
A lot of resentment, that's why in monogamy, you a lot of people end up resenting their partners a lot of times, because
Sure.
when the jealous feelings arise, what first happens? Oh, I'm not going to do that because so and so gets jealous when I do that. So and so gets jealous when I talk to this other person. So I'm not going to do that. Oh, I can't go dancing even though he said he was going to go dancing with me. Now that he's changed his mind at the last minute, he doesn't want me to go, and I have to sit at home and be miserable when he doesn't even care. Like, why can't I have this little joy? So resentment start building. So,
Sure.
and then also you can hurt other people, because if my partner is jealous that I'm with another partner, you want me to not see that other partner? No, I'm still gonna do it. It's just I'm gonna try and support you and help you figure out what you need to do when I'm with that other person. But I'm not gonna see that other person just because you feel jealous. I'm not gonna talk to somebody just because you feel jealous. So but monogamy teaches us it's a status, it's a good space, it's an honor, like, to not do something because your partner feel jealous and doesn't want you to do it. Yeah, no thanks. um Hey, Audrey. Hi, from Dominican Republic, listening. Thank you for tuning in.
Shout out to the DR.
That's my longtime friend. But yeah, so yeah, it's so much that we could talk about when it comes to jealousy. So now let's talk about, because I see the time is flying. Let's talk a little bit about love and possession. So why
Mm,
does it always feel like once I love you, I don't want anybody else to have you or to even look at you?
sure.
Like, do you, well, you probably don't feel that way anymore, Teddy, because you're polyamorous, or do you still feel that way about your partner?
Um, so do I still feel the feeling of I don't want you involved with anybody else in general? Is that the question?
Just like I guess because most of the time you want to be, maybe for a polyamorous person, you might want to be the most important thing in their life, even though they may see
Sure.
other people. Because, I know I've been in relationships where the other women thought I should not be important at all. Like I should be the third or the extra or
Right.
whatever. And
Yeah.
we've had good hands, we've had bad hands, it's like, so where
Yeah.
do you fall?
I overall, and I hope that this can answer your question in a succinct way. Um, I feel like overall it comes from not wanting what you have with your partner to be affected by somebody else, right? So it is not necessarily even like, oh, well, yeah, I don't want you really being involved. I need to feel like the most important at all times, like all that stuff. I just need what we have to not be impacted at all. I think we all know that uncomfortable feeling that occurs when you have certain rituals that you have with your person, and certain like hallmarks, right? I talk to this person during this time of night, every night. We talk for this amount of time. These are the things we do. Within somebody else is in the picture, and guess what? They just called, and now you got to factor in and make space for this individual, and it represents your relationship being affected by another relationship, which doesn't feel good. And once
Right.
again, throws you into the headspace of being protective. So now I have to combat somebody. I got to fight somebody because somebody is encroaching on my territory. You in my yard now, right?
Yeah.
And I got to get your ass out my yard, right? When really it's not about that. This person isn't in your yard. The time is finite, so it has to be shared in some capacity. And so the conversation really needs to be centered around how do we structure this in a way where you stay in a good place and stay in a mind frame of understanding that nothing is impacting you while also allowing space for somebody new, because you want that same consideration. I personally want that same consideration when I'm courting somebody or in relationship with somebody new as well. So again, to answer your question, like the feelings still come up. Yeah, absolutely, they still come up. I am I don't mind admitting it, be it from mononormativity or not. I'm somebody who has a tendency to be territorial. I won't say possessive, right? I know I don't own anybody, right? I don't own any of my partners. I've been with my wife for 20 years next year, right? I've been with Luna Rose
Congratulations.
for, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been with Luna Rose for 2 years as of October. Both of them have partners outside of me. I don't feel like I own them. I don't feel like I own their time, but I am territorial as fuck. I
Yeah.
am. Like that's a natural thing for me. And
Show
so
us,
yes, the
tell us
feelings
what your
come up.
territorial looks like.
What
About
my territorial looks like. Ooh, you sure you want to hear
We
that?
hear it all. Listen, we're here for it. Give us the tea. Or I'm gonna call one of the ladies.
They're both watching. They're both in the comments. What territorial looks like. So I'll tell you what it used to look like, and I'll tell you what it looks like today.
Okay.
What it used to look like, again, I can only show up as me, and I'm gonna talk as me since I've been given a green light. All right, and I hope I'm not saying anything that's offensive to anybody, you and Sky or anyone in the comments. But
No?
what that territorialism used to look like was that nigga better know his place and he better recognize who I am versus who he is. That's what that used to look like, right?
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I've
that's what that used to look
experienced
like.
too with other people.
Yeah, that's what that used to look like. That's what they used to sound like for sure. What it is
and now what does
more
it look
about
like?
now for me. Yeah, now what it looks like is, hey, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like the way this is making me feel, but dude is not disrespectful. He treats you well. I appreciate that. So I just need your help overcoming what I'm feeling right now. What I'm feeling right now is he tapped into my yard and I'm about to beat the shit out of him. Right? Like that's what that looks like now. The feeling is still there, but once again, just like we talked about with the overall state of jealousy and your reaction to jealousy, how I deal with it and process it is different now. I mentioned like I'm territorial as fuck, but once again, my reaction to it is a lot different now. It's not about like he better know his place or I'm gonna help him find his place again. It's now about like, hey, I'm feeling very protective right now because I feel like he is encroaching on something that is mine and that I hold dear. Can you help me overcome that? Right? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about like, where your feelings are as it relates to us? Has anything changed? Right? All those things that I really need to address, all those things that are behind the feeling of needing to protect, that's what I address now.
Okay. What do you think, Sky?
What is what about when you were talking earlier about unicorn hunting? I tend to find when you meet these new poly couples that are looking for a third or looking for another partner to join them. I think that they are coming from a place of insecurity and jealousy,
Sure.
because they really don't want to allow for people to have these different experiences. So they're holding on to like this pseudo monogamous situation
Sure.
and allowing, they want to have one person come and be in a relationship with both people, which is so retarded to me, or I guess very difficult in reality. What do you think about that? Because I feel like people opening up their relationship to a plus one
Mm,
is really coming from like insecurity, jealousy,
sure.
possessiveness. It comes from that whole world.
1000%. Yeah, it comes from mononormative mind frame where you feel like nothing can take place outside of me or else it's cheating. Absolutely. But again, we got past that phase in our beginnings of navigating polyamory pretty quickly. And it really just came down to like just having open and honest conversations about what's going on, right? Your need to feel included should not come in the form of actually being included in a relationship. It should come in the form of open and honest communication, right? Tell me what's going on. Help me understand not only what is happening, but what that represents for you, and tell me lastly how it affects us, if at all, right? And frankly, you don't want it to affect you, right? And usually it does not. So that's how we dealt with that, and frankly that's how we continue to deal with those feelings as they arise, right?
Yeah.
Help me think about this the right way. That's what that is.
Mhm.
Yes. I mean, we need to be
Mhm.
able to create love without that feeling of possession. And I mean, I guess every once in a while you can experience fear of losing your person, but um like we should be able to experience love without the fear and just with pure freedom. And I don't know. Like I feel like everybody should experience that.
Sure. Sure.
We have a few comments. Dashikizo said, I'm 2% fat possessive. I just want you when I can. I, cause, oh, Maya, you better preach. Okay, okay, that's your wife. Yes, I met her.
Thank you,
I
my lady P.
recognize the face.
That's right.
Maggie said, again, loving the vulnerability. And Teddy, we frequently fail to realize
Thank you.
men need reassurance as much as women. We all need to feel relevant. Reassurance, that's the one thing, that really helped me when I was going through my jealous stage. My partner, he really tried to reassure me because a lot of times we're afraid to ask for reassurance because we don't want to be seen as needy. But a
Correct.
little goes such a long way. Just somebody saying, "Baby, I'm here. I got you. I'm not going anywhere." Like those words mean something. They feel good, and
Yeah.
it's reassurance. They make you feel better. And okay, all right, thank you. I just needed to hear you say those things, you know.
Yep. Yep.
And
I've gotten
men
a
don't.
lot better at that. Yeah,
I
I was
do
gonna say to
try.
Maggie's comment, like, oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. I was gonna say to Maggie's comment, oftentimes, like, you don't see men as needing reassurance because men aren't vulnerable about when we need it, right? We don't tell you when we need
Right.
reassurance because
Yes.
once again, it makes us feel weak, it
Yeah.
makes us feel needy, it makes us feel less powerful, right? So I'm
Yes.
not gonna tell you that I need this little stuff to satiate my insecurity, right? Because I can't let you know that I'm insecure. I gotta pretend. I gotta pretend and put up the facade of toughness.
Yep.
That's been one of the best things for me is letting go of my ego along those lines and just being
Mm-hmm.
able to say like, hey, right now I'm fucked up and I need you to like tell me the things, right? Remind me who I am to you. Put me back as I said to my partners,
Yeah.
put me back in my position, right? Put me back where I belong. Because right now my mind is trying to displace me and it's telling me that this dude is the reason that I'm displaced.
And you know what? I like what you said
Wow.
because I feel like that's a difference too when because we're always gonna compare monogamy and non-monogamy, right? That's the
Yeah.
difference in monogamy because before the reason why I felt offended is because it came at me as an attack, not like, oh, I'm feeling insecure right now. I'm feeling this way about this situation. Can you give me some reassurance that you're not gonna do anything with this person, kind of thing, right? It was always like, oh, it's your fault. So that's why I couldn't be in the space to help you
Right.
because you were accusing me
Yeah, you were
basically
being
of
attacked.
right. I was being attacked as opposed to now I've had my partners and one of my partner one time I was so shocked but also appreciative of him coming to me. He's like, yeah, you told me I could talk to you anytime. We had like a 2 hour conversation about his feelings around certain things, and I truly appreciate it. I reassured him. I mean, I try to do a good job. In the moment you never really know if you're doing a good job at helping. You do your best, the best that you can give, but other times too you start thinking, no, maybe I could have said this to him to make him feel better. But I mean, whenever I feel things or think about things, I go ahead and throw it out. I could be in the middle of a conversation with you and I just throw some random thing because I don't want to forget. I think of it in the moment. My mind just works like that. But um so that's the difference. Before I was very combative when jealousy was expressed. Now when jealousy is expressed because it's expressed differently, I'm very
Right.
supportive and I'm here to let you know that I'm here and I got you. Whatever you need, I can be here for you and I can help you through it. So that's the difference
Beautiful.
for me right now.
Beautiful.
We do have a couple
Interesting.
more. Right. Dashiki said, right, Teddy. I'm territorial based on what has been established.
And what? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Maggie said that should be at
Mhm.
Teddy. Okay. Dang, I'm late. Yes, you are, Sky Thomas. You are very late. But guess
What
what?
up,
You can
twin?
also go back and rewatch either on Facebook or YouTube. Please, guys, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please give us a subscribe. Every click counts. We are on Instagram, Facebook,
And
Threads,
definitely share it.
YouTube. Please share. I know one of my metas, she like to share it, to share our stuff, and they talk about it on Open Table. No, not Open Table. That's the reservation place. Um, Something. One of those. It's so many social medias I can't keep up,
Yeah.
but they'll have conversations with our stuff. So I appreciate it. We appreciate every click that you can give us and the support. It means a lot to us, and we're gonna keep bringing you spicy, insightful, educational topics because even though we talk about sex, relationships, we also talk about sexual health, mental health, and all that stuff. So we we let the people know we're not just here for the feel good stuff, but you also gotta feel good physically and on the inside. Your health has to be there. aligned with it too. Sky Thomas said, how much support do we have to provide until it's just an aggravation? I feel like at this age, if you come into the poly arena, know your stuff and regulate your emotions and can't teach anybody, did that, I'm over it. Whew,
I,
that's a lot. Sky, you want to take the lead on that
I
one?
agree, Sky. Yeah, no, I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the bandwidth to educate people when you have a whole phone with all the info. You have AI, you have everything to get you to where to you for you to be great. You can do that on your own. So yeah, I need folks to do some reading. I need folks to do their own self work, and it's hard for me to just sit and wait for someone to like have those conversations. If they're coming like Teddy's approach, which I don't see men who come up with the emotional vulnerability like that. Like I'm not feeling great about this and stuff. They react over speaking. So if you're reactionary, it's going to be a no for me. And yeah, I'm not doing that. So yeah, Sky, I'm not here for it. I
Teddy?
can't.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about like just people who are reactive over conversational, right? Reactive over being vulnerable, then I think the conversation that needs to be had is centered around safety, right? That
Mhm.
person needs to know that they're safe to be vulnerable. That person needs to know that it doesn't make you weak to say that you feel weak. Once again, feelings don't represent fact, right? You can feel something without that being
Right.
what it is. Um, that's the conversation that needs to be had in order for you to get to the point where that person can process their emotions comfortably enough to tell you what they need. Sky, at first, what I thought you were saying is you don't like to reassure people, but it sounds like that's not what you're saying. You just don't have the bandwidth and tolerance to deal with bad behavior when people can't be honest about how they're feeling.
Yeah. And for
Right,
me,
right. I mean, how would one person know that they need reassurance if they don't express themselves? You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah,
If you don't
100%.
express yourself and say something that gives me the idea that, you need some time, or you need to sit with this, or you need to process, or what have you. If I
Sure.
don't know that, I'm not going to read your mind. I'm not going to say, "Oh, maybe you're in a process right now." Reactionary speaks louder than words. And until someone is really communicating clearly, I don't know what someone is thinking. I have no idea. So I
Yeah.
and
can't
really for like to
help.
piggyback
I can't do anything.
on what Sky Thomas said, like for me, I always tell people I am available as much as life will allow to mentor you, to help you, to support you as a friend, but not as a lover, a partner, none of that shit. If you're new to the poly world, to the non-monogamous world, you can go ahead and do your work and I will point you in all the right directions. But I do not have the patience to deal, first of all, with monogamous. I swear off monogamous people. I don't care if you say, I'll try. If you're, first of all, your language will tell me what your level of openness, right? If you tell me, well, I can try, yeah, nigga, you can go over there and try it over there with somebody else, not with me, right? So I don't have the patience, but again, like I said, I will support anybody who needs support as a friend. But I am not here to teach you the ways of polyamory. Go do the work and I will work with you on that. Call me anytime, send me a voice note. I will get back to
I,
you as soon as I
I
can.
think
Send me a text message on the questions that you have. I will answer whatever I can answer. I'm not saying I have all the answers. I'm just saying I don't want a lover who's new. I don't want to engage in a romantic connection, sexual connection, none of that stuff with anybody, first of all, who's monogamous or who's new to non monogamy because I don't care for it. So that's my 2 cents.
so. Me too already knows that I engage with monogamous people, and it is what it is. But what I'm
Okay.
saying is this jealousy speaks to wherever you are in life, and it is cancer to any type of relationship. Not being able to communicate properly, not being able to navigate your emotions, not being able to say I need reassurance, or say, like, have agreements, not being able to put boundaries up. Those are all the features of a relationship that will be doomed.
Yeah.
So whether it is monogamy or polyamory, because there are people who are either or, people who are figuring out what they are in life or what have you, regardless of your relationship style or your orientation or whatever you want to call it, jealousy is going to kill it at the end. And it's not that you won't get jealous, it's how you process jealousy. So
To me,
that's what I
it's
have
not
to say.
even just a jealousy, because what do we know about monogamous people, right? Um, it's just they can say they will try, but there's gonna come that point where they feel like, oh, so you're not at work, why are you not spending the rest of your time with me? Why is this not happening, why is that not happening? It's not even just jealousy, it's again the possessiveness that comes with it. Because it's nothing to them. It's just that's what we are taught. If you are with somebody, if it's your lover, all their time should be dedicated to you if they're not at work. If they're going to see their family, they need to drag you along. If they're going to hang out with their friends, you need to come as well. Like, why can't I go hang out with you and your friends? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that with you? Like, why do you need time away from me? Or why do you not want to spend time with me? It's most of the time. I'm not saying all of them are like that. There's always exception to every rule. But generally, you're gonna run into those issues. So that's why I'm like, I don't care to entertain, because when we are at that crossroad, yeah, I'm gonna blow up. Like, it's not gonna be
Mm,
pretty, and it's not gonna be their fault, because I knew who they were and I chose to engage with them. So I can't be disappointed in them when they show up with that kind of behavior, because it's kind of like, if you add 1 + 1 + 1, where you're gonna end, but you're still hoping that, oh well, maybe this time it'll be a different result. But it's like, no, you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna get the same result. That's just how it is. So it's always the same thing. Like, when we're dealing with
mm,
monogamy, typically those feelings, they will come up at some point, because they don't know any different, they don't know any better, and you can't fault them for that. I
mm.
just have to choose not to engage, because I don't have the bandwidth for it.
Question for you. Question for
Mhm.
you both, actually. It sounds like we all agree that for a lot of people, polyamory is an orientation. So some people are naturally oriented towards polyamory. Would it stand to reason that there are a lot of people who are culturally monogamous, but naturally polyamorous and just haven't been shown how to do this song and dance?
Absolutely.
I don't understand.
Absolutely. Well, I'll let Ted
So,
explain. Maybe,
yeah.
because I'm
So,
not good
so
at
what
it.
I'm saying is, yeah, what I'm saying is, it sounds like well, no, Scott, you mentioned that you date monogamous people, right? But if there is an aversion to dating monogamous people or people who only know monogamy, sometimes that pool of monogamous people, they're going to be some folks who are naturally polyamorous, who have natural inclinations toward being ethically non-monogamous, but have just not been shown the way to do it, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of times, so when they can't get with it, is because they don't have the right tools, right? Or they've
Yeah.
been so culturally taught that,
Mm,
conditioned. They've been so
sure.
conditioned into monogamy that they, even though they feel like it's not right, it's kind of like the cheating uh person, right? The serial cheater, they
Hmm.
constantly step out, but then if you tell them to just end that relationship and go find his or her tribe, they're gonna be like, no, because I know people like that. they want to have that fun, but they're not ready for their other person to experience what they're experiencing, right? So they're enjoying the openness and the fun of being open, but in their mind they still think, well, I still need to be monogamous because you need that person. So how about when you get older anyway? So who's gonna be there for you? We all die alone. I don't know if you realize that. We still die alone even when we have people around us. So I don't even understand.
True.
It's not like you can say, okay, so I'm gonna die today. Can you die with me? Like, you know,
Right.
that's a fear that people have too. It's in a lot of times when people are trying to talk me out of non-monogamy, it's always like, so how about when you get older? Like, don't you want somebody to be there with you? If that's the only reason why I should find people, then I don't need to find anybody. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think what you say is valid.
Yeah. Just curious. Just because like I've dated people who have been monogamous, right? Like
Mhm.
one of my partners came straight into polyamory. I met her on Hinge and she was fully monogamous at the time. But when I met her, I immediately recognized she was one of the most naturally polyamorous people I've ever met in my life. She
Yeah.
always wanted to know about when I was with other partners, and not like from an inspection sort of perspective, right? Not because she just felt like she needed to know, but she literally took joy in knowing that I was happy, right? Super compulsive and all those things. But I'm glad that I don't preclude myself because of that. I'm glad I don't preclude myself from talking to monogamous people just because some of those folks only know monogamy but are
Mm,
naturally polyamorous.
yeah, I get it.
Mm.
If you label yourself as monogamous at all, I'm like, you can stay over there. Not for me.
Understood.
I know my capacity.
I just think that attractive
Mm,
there's a lot of attractive monogamous men out there.
Of course, Guy, of course.
That's all.
Enjoy. And there's nothing wrong with it because, I mean, even in the polyamorous community, we talk about it all the time. You have dynamics where one person is monogamous and they're okay with their partners being polyamorous. There are such
yeah,
dynamics. I'm just saying, personally, I'm not willing to entertain that. Yeah, that
understood.
dynamic. So, yeah. So Sky Thomas said, right, because I took the time to study before I got into this, literally reading, studying. Yes, I'm glad I'm not alone. Yes, and I think that's what Sky was talking about too. It's like doing the work, even though you can be monogamous, but if you're doing the work as a person to work on yourself, not even on the polyamorous point of view, being um, you know, emotionally intelligent and be willing to do the work for you as a person, whether you are monogamous or not. I think that's what being a healthy person is. I want you to be healthy, you know. Um,
Yeah.
yes, Ashikizo, thank you so much. Fan base, yes, they do share our lives on fan base and they have conversations around it. So we love that. So thank you, Bella, for
Nice.
doing that. Yeah. Maritza said, I already raised my children. Oh, that's cold, Maritza. Hey,
That was a good
Masaya. Yeah. Such a great topic as usual, point blank. Be communicative always, whether poly or mono. Love you, me too, and Sky. Love you too. We miss you. You need to come back because we need that health, that sexual health back on our
Mhm.
podcast. So let us know when we can link up. Sky, can you read some of the comments?
Oh, men like Teddy are rare. Are there more? It's so many few black men that have this level of rationale and really live it. The intersectionality of being non-monogamous in the black community is so hard. Black men already stereotypically are less vulnerable, so meeting them in the poly arena has been rough, if I'm honest.
Mm,
All
Yep.
right. I mean, she's definitely right. Yeah, hit it right on the nail. Um, yeah, okay. Sky Thomas. Yes, language. Oh, sorry. Oh, we have quite a few things. I'm so glad y'all are in this media space. I've been searching for Black
I'm
poly.
so glad y'all are in this media space. I've been searching for Black poly folks with a poly.
I think there's a delay. You can keep reading, Sky. Sorry.
A little bit, a little bit.
Oh, I don't know. I'm so glad y'all are in this media space. I've been searching for Black poly folks with a podcast and voice on these medias. I'll be following y'all.
Thank you, Sky.
Shout
Thank you
out,
so much. We
shout out my
appreciate.
birthday twin. It's my birthday
Ah,
twin right there.
when's your birthday?
September 9th. September
Ah,
9th. Shout out to the Virgos in the chat.
okay, the Virgos. I'm a Leo.
Okay, Virgos.
So we have Taurus in
I
the
like
house.
Virgo.
I'm not.
Are you a Leo? No, you're a Taurus, right? No, Sky.
Me, I'm an Aries.
Aries, sorry. Yes. Okay. We have been brainwashed. Oh, sorry. To monogamy. They also imprison the societal norm. Human nature is naturally polyamorous, in my opinion.
Hmm.
They toxic, Sky, but yes, they are. How do you navigate their emotions? Do they be cool? Virgo season coming. Woohoo! No, like sit your ass somewhere, Sky. Leos
That's
haven't
right.
even
Virgo
entered
season.
the arena. Get out the
Virgo
way.
season on the way.
We're coming. We're coming. Like, go sit somewhere and wait for us to finish, and we'll let you when to come in. We'll let you know when to come in. Okay. I can't wait to be back on with y'all. See you all soon. And I'm a Scorpio, 11/14. Okay, nice. Nice. Yeah, so Leo season is coming. So we're coming to an end. Because oh my God, it's been like hour and a half. Okay. So remember, guys, get your book online. Sky, you want to show them the book again? Why is it so?
I
Pull
don't
it
know why I
back.
keep blurring out the words, but could you tell us the
Right?
name of the book?
For the sweetest pussy.
Recipes for the sweetest pussy. And I'll put the link here.
Yes, you need that book. You need that book. Men, buy it for your ladies. Ladies, buy it for your ladies. Ladies, buy it for yourself. All of that. Also, what other announcement do we have? In the next podcast, we will talk about desires and pleasure. Yeah, because I'm feeling very sensual and all of that. So send us some messages of what you would like to hear. If you would like to be a guest on our podcast, we would love to hear from you. Yes, pleasure, desire, and pleasure. Because I mean, we have many lovers, so it's a lot of pleasure, right? No,
Absolutely.
people think it's a fuck fest, but it's not.
Thank you, Teddy.
Sometimes you'll probably be so dry. So anyway, so don't forget to pick up your copy of Sky's book. Well, I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. It was such a pleasure to be back. I feel great. We hope that life is not going to keep us away. Also, send us any suggestion, anything you would like for us to talk about. If you would like to be a guest on the podcast, please send us a message at thepolypimps@gmail.com. And we are on all social media platforms. So send us a message. What else you would like to say? Thank you again, Teddy, for saying yes to hanging out with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
for the
you,
invite.
Teddy.
Really appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you for everybody who participated in the comments, making me not feel by myself. Salute to my partners.
Absolutely.
Much love to the both of you. I love you both. And thank you for your support.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, I'm gonna say something real quick. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Poly Black and Dating, our wonderful group, Poly Coast to Coast. Yes,
Let's
yes,
go coast to
amazing
coast.
gala. Yes, and then also check out Sunshine and Rainbows podcast. They talk about
That's right.
polyamory and relationships as well. I mean, we're everywhere. We're trying to bring you everything, guys. All the tools that you need, all the information that you need, all the conversations that you want to talk about. We're here for you. Um, find us. We're here and we talk about it all. So check them
We
out.
are out here. We have
Yes.
tons of podcasts to go back and watch.
Yes, and of course, share the podcast with all your
Have a good
friends.
night, y'all.
Um, we will see you in a couple of weeks. Oh, what was I gonna say? See, my brain just like shifted. Oh yes, Teddy has a polycule, and he won the polycule award at Poly Coast to Coast Gala, and it was so beautiful. You guys look amazing. So
Thank you.
congratulations
Thank you.
again, Teddy. So
Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Shout out to Poly Coast to Coast. We won Polycule of the Year. I won Weekend Theme, and my partner Luna Rose won Newbie Award, which I won last year. So it was a good night. It was great to see you there, Nisi, once again. Beautiful performance.
yes, thank you. It was so fun. I can't wait for the one next year. And of course, we're gonna bring even more fire.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Dashiki said, oh, Marisu said, can't wait for the next subject. Dashiki said, great convo, never a dull show. Thank you. And Kiana said, yay. All right, so see you guys in 2 weeks. Be on the lookout for our link. Just and remember, if you like us and subscribe, you won't even have to be searching. You get the notifications. So see you
There we
soon.
go.
Hey Maggie, thank you so much. Great topic and discussion. Much needed. One love. Thank you always for supporting. You guys have a good night and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Poly Pimps.
Bye.